Hello, my keely little friends. I am Arlo, and I'm here to give my thoughts on Summer Games' Fest 2026. As always, I will not be covering every game, but only the highlights, the stuff that jumped out at me and that I have an opinion on. And then at the end, I will give my overall thoughts. Spoiler alert, though, I did think it was a good show. And a lot of that has to do with just an incredible start. Like, we have never had a presentation like this that has begun so strongly. We started out with Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake. Yeah, I mean, new Resident Evil, new, whether an original or a remake, I really don't care. They're all amazing. So, like, just gimme. I just that's how much faith I have in the series. Like, I mean, yeah, there were some stumbles. 3 remake was a little, but then, like, I don't know. Since then, I'm not worried whatsoever. So yeah. Presentation begins with a Resident Evil reveal of some kind, and it's just like, hey, we're good. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't even, I don't need to see anymore. This is a good presentation already. But yeah, I didn't play the original. I really haven't even heard that much about it. I don't even know if it was, like, necessarily very good. It kind of sounded like maybe it was had slight black sheepy kind of status. But yeah, like, this is modern Resident Evil. It's modern Capcom. So, like, whatever that game is, I'm very excited to see them just redo it and repackage it and reimagine it. Like, whatever they do, it's gonna be awesome. Coming, I mean, we just got Requiem, and now this is coming next year. So very, very happy with that. Then immediately after, straight after that, they went straight into the announcement that they're working on a new Cuphead. I will say, anytime you newly announce a game just to say that it's early in development, that is a bit of a bummer, especially with, like, Cuphead. Took a really long time. Like, Cuphead was coming for a very, very long time, and now it's been kind of a long time since it actually launched. So now to hear that they're starting on a new one, and it's, like, gonna be a while. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. Maybe you should have just waited or gotten started earlier. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. But this was helped some by the announcement of another Cuphead game. They're doing a cute little, like, retro style Cuphead game as well. Not quite my cup of tea, but, like, it's cute. It's fun. It's, it's kind of spoofing on a different era than the original. So that's fun. You had a cute little puppet thing in the trailer, and it was a good time. And then, yeah, no, the strength of the show maintained straight into a reveal trailer for Alien Isolation 2. It's another game I have not played yet, but it is very, very high on the list of games that I would like to play. And Mr. Kane, man who edit for me a lot and good friend, very humongous, enormous fan of the original. He's always talking it up. Like, he's really the reason I am going to play it, why it is so high on the list. So, yeah, seeing a new game, a new look at the new game, seeing it takes place kind of in, like, a more foresty area, so that's kind of a scary idea. You got trees now, that can't be good. And then again, straight into another big one. And for me, this was the game of the show right here. So early on, Project Robot has an official name. It is called Gen Atlus. This is Fumito Ueda, creator of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian. Been waiting for this game for such a very, very incredibly long time. This is our first real look at the game with some actual gameplay, and my goodness gracious, it is everything I could possibly hope for. Yeah, I'm probably gonna save it for a full discussion video. I don't know when I can get around to that, maybe in a couple days. But I definitely need to have a full talking fit about this game. I have many opinions. It just looks perfect. Just considering the games that have led up to this point, there's just been such a steady development of these ideas, and this seems like just a perfect next step for all of the themes that he's established, and just everything about it. I just can't wait. It's a real bummer we didn't get even a release window. Maybe there's some more info somewhere else. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, trailer looks amazing. That music. Ooh, anyway, yeah, we'll talk more about that later, for sure. So that early heat, really kept itself burning for a good while before things started to drop off a little bit, started to get a few more games that were, I'm not super familiar with or whatever. The next notable game for me is Hex. This trailer, it didn't quite show enough to inform the audience precisely what kind of a game it is. I have a lot of questions about it. I'm not like 100% sold yet, but I can confidently say that what I've seen so far is at least intriguing. I think visually it looks really interesting. You've got all this weird spacey architecture. You're holding on to this cube thing. It looks kind of mind-bendy. So yeah, it has captured my attention. I certainly want to learn more about Hex. And then later on they showed a game that was a little bit similar, Crossfire. It's less attractive to me as a game, but I do think it's an interesting project just to kind of like, I don't know, keep an eye on, see what happens, because yeah, it's similar where the trailer didn't really give that good of an idea of what the gameplay is like. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more like shooting, you know. Afterward, they were talking about how they've created this new system where the character is kind of like dynamically taking cover, you know, based on like the actual height of the cover, and that's going to affect the gameplay, which is a really cool idea. I mean, like, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen something like that. We've had a lot of like cover shooters for so many years, so it's really interesting to just kind of see that here just randomly as just an idea that they're playing with. But yeah, it does look kind of interesting story-wise, and it's kind of a theme that we saw during this whole entire presentation is I don't know what is kind of like causing this. I don't know if there's like a trend in the industry or if this is just coincidence or just happens to be the kinds of games that Jeff wants to show off or the kinds of trailers that they want to do. I don't know, but like we're seeing a lot of games with or just rather trailers with a big focus on story. Big focus on story, acting, performances. It just felt like game after game, including this one, really showed off some very serious acting, you know, like real, like movie kind of acting where, you know, like it's good. Like it's good acting. Not every game has the benefit of you know, having acting on that level. And so I don't know, we're just starting to see it a lot more really serious performances with all the mocap and the really like expressive characters and just these very involved, very good looking cutscenes. Just more and more games seem to be employing this. And I don't know, I think it's pretty cool, you know, like obviously a really good story can help lift up any game. So even if the gameplay itself is just kind of like, oh, you know, it's fine. If you got a cool story, you got cool characters and stuff, that can kind of float it. So yeah, again, like that kind of applies to a lot of games here, not just Crossfire, but I would also say that about Crossfire. Moving on to the next game. I'm not a Guild Wars guy, but they did announce Guild Wars 3, and I don't know, it's at least worth a shout out because it's a big deal. It sounds like that's pretty cool. Very happy for fans. There were quite a lot of announcements like that. Yeah, a lot that I'm like not even mentioning here, where it was just like, here's an old series and here's the announcement of a brand new entry. Had a Virtua Fighter. They announced a new Virtua Fighter. That's another thing here. Then one of the co-creators of Assassin's Creed revealed 1666 Amsterdam. Seems to be some sort of third-person action game where you get to be a scary, spooky witch of some kind. And it is another one. It is yet another game where I'm not completely sold, but there's enough here at least to intrigue me. This one did have at least a good little bits of clips of the actual gameplay, being all witch-like and casting spells and whatnot. So yeah, not 100% sure. I would need to see more, but I like what I saw. I like what I saw visually, thematically. Looks pretty cool. Again, pretty good looking characters, you know, some okay acting and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more on that one. Why not? We got the first reveal for the Monster Hunter Wilds expansion, which is called Ascendance, and that is pretty darn exciting. I played a lot of Monster Hunter Rise, but then I like dropped off before the big like Dawnbreak DLC hit. Sunbreak. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So yeah, I never got into that, and then when Monster Hunter Wilds launched, I played it for a good bit, and I reviewed it, and I had a lot of fun. So now I'm kind of at this place again, where it's like, all right, am I gonna do it this time? Am I actually gonna do it? Am I gonna get into the DLC? I'm not 100% sure, especially because I haven't played as long this time. I feel like I'm going to be pretty darn behind. Like I haven't been, you know, keeping up with all the updates and stuff. So we'll see if I actually get to it. But it does look very good. I like the idea of playing it. I hope I can get to it. Looks neat. Takes place up in the sky, floating islands. Just always, it's just a winning idea in pretty much any game. Floating islands in the sky, like, it's gonna look cool. You got all the cool, like, broken apart architecture and rocks and stuff. It's just a good thing. So that's pretty exciting. They had a little trailer for Palworld, and I'm not like super invested in Palworld anymore. I probably won't play it ever again. But apparently, like, this, I didn't realize this was them announcing or at least showing off that it's coming out of early access this July. So despite the ongoing lawsuit, like, they're basically saying this is the real life launch of the game. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. Again, I haven't really kept up with development, but even when I just played it when it first launched, it was really fun. Like, it really was really fun. So I don't know. I think they may continue to eat Nintendo's lunch on this one. Then they revealed Wolf Among Us 2, getting a full-blown sequel to Wolf Among Us, the series, and the developer is alive. And, you know, it's one of a million games that I've had on my backlog forever. I probably own it. Like I was interested enough that I probably do own it. It's probably on my Xbox 360 or something, or maybe on Steam. I probably got it for super cheap just years and years ago. Never got around to playing it. But it's very, very cool that we're getting a new one because I have heard very, very good things about it. Yeah, those early Telltale games, they were really excellent. I played the Walking Dead ones. I think maybe all but the last one. I can't quite remember, but they were very good. Like, yeah, early Telltale was really good. So it is exciting to see another one. Hope it can meet the same standards. And then the first Wolf Among Us is getting remastered as well, which is just like, I mean, that's the double whammy you always want to see, you know? It's perfect. You can never, like, count on it. But whenever anyone does it, just like, you're getting a new game, remaster the old game, boom, done. Every wish has been met. Everything is perfect. Then they ended the show with the full reveal of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. They gave it a name. It's called Revelation, and they even gave it a release window. It's coming next spring, so that's not too bad. That's not too long to wait. And it was a little bit disappointing, just because, like, it was such a strong show in the start. So I think everyone was kind of like, the bar was so high. Our expectations were like, ooh, I hope it's some like really big surprise. You know, this is a game that we knew was coming. So it didn't quite have that like surprise factor. But obviously, like, I can't deny it's a very, very popular series. It's going to be a very, very big game. And they did show off a lot of it. You might even call it a deep dive. They gave it a good last 12 minutes of the show or something, you know, showed all the actual features and gameplay and stuff. So yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy fans ate pretty well at the end of the show. Yeah, so like I said before, the show was a little bit front-loaded, a little top-heavy, you know, like it did kind of, it set that pace early on, and that pace was just like blazing hot. It was absolutely crazy. Then as time went on, now you had your more expected, normal kind of ups and downs, and then again, kind of ending on a game that was big, but not necessarily like a surprise, something unexpected. Despite the kind of uneven pacing, it was a very good show overall. It really was. I think that undoubtedly this is the best Summer Game Fest that we've had. The first year was 2020, so this will be the 6th one. Yeah, without a doubt. Because, I mean, if anything, I feel like Game Awards are usually better. Summer Game Fest is usually kind of like, I don't know, like there's no like real reason. In theory, either could be good. It could just be coincidence. I don't know what it is. But I feel like historically, Summer Game Fest has been a bit weaker. And yet, despite that, I would put this in the upper, the upper echelons of Jeff Keighley game presentations. Definitely a rival for some of the best Game Awards. So that's cool. You know, it was a good show. It really was. I mean, and again, like there was tons of games that many people would consider very, very big announcements or very big trailers that I didn't even touch on. Like, there were just loads. Loads and loads of games, loads of, new entries from old series, really great updates on previously announced games, just a really good mix of stuff. With pretty much any of these presentations, it is funny how often there's just like a trend, the kinds of games that are being made, or at least the kinds of games that are showing up at these presentations. It was like space shooty guy for a while, and now it's a lot more like horror, and then like the Souls inspired grimdark fantasy, a lot of that, a humongous amount of that, and also just a lot of horror, just a lot of games with like these like deeper like kind of psychological horror thriller kind of elements. And it's never good to have like a really strong trend like that, because then there's the risk of like getting really tired of all this stuff. But I can look at the positive side and just be like, at least I'm more interested in seeing this, like, even if I'm not gonna buy most of these games, it's more fun to watch the trailers. Anytime there's just the grimdark fantasy and the big scary monsters and the horror, I am more into those genres. So for me, it is less like to watch all of these samey trailers. I mean, it's funny too, because I actually really do like sci-fi. I'm a really big fan of sci-fi, but that kind of like the like power suit sci-fi, my brain kind of glosses over, and I just kind of stop paying attention. Here, it's a little bit easier to keep my attention, but there was a lot of it. There was a lot. If you're not into those kinds of games, then there probably wasn't as much to enjoy. But overall, really good presentation. It was really good. It held my interest pretty much the whole time. There were enough big announcements that I never, like that's it. That thing where I just like my brain, I start to get kind of full and I start to get tired. Just too many games have gone in. Too many games that don't really appeal to me have gone in, and the brain just gets kind of tired and it starts to like space out, like that didn't happen. And that's probably the highest praise I could possibly give for a 2-hour block of game advertisements, a 2-hour block of commercials, and I did not find myself getting bored much at all. So there you go. But like I said, I'll probably end up doing a full discussion of Gen Atlus on Arlo Plays. But for now, this is all I will say. It was a good presentation, and you know what? Jeff Keighley, he often overhypes this stuff. You gotta like take whatever he is saying about a presentation, and just like I was joking about this on stream the other day. There's some kind of algorithm we need to figure out of just like how to like subtract the amount of hype that like he presents, and then you apply the formula to it, and it's going to be like minus however much percent from there. That's where you got to put your expectations. Some kind of inverse algorithmic subtractionizing. But no, he did hype this one up, and he said, I think he even said this was going to be the best one. And he was right. He was right. There were a couple times in there where he would like hype up an individual game, and it, like the reverence in his voice, and then the game would come. Okay, yeah, sure, maybe you overhyped like a couple of these, but overall, he was not wrong when he said that this was the best Summer Game Fest. So there you go. Good job, Jeff. Good job, Jeff. You done good. And you had 2 puppets in the show. Neither were Muppets, but you know what? That's still pretty good. Good on ya.